Have you ever started your day with a bowl of oatmeal, thinking it's the healthiest choice, only to find yourself feeling sluggish or bloated shortly after? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of us believe that oatmeal is a foolproof superfood. But what if I told you that there are common mistakes we make when preparing or eating it that can completely undermine its health benefits? Today, we're diving into the 10 most common oatmeal mistakes you might be making and how to fix them. Now, before we dig in, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something. We all have our favorite ways of enjoying oatmeal, right? Maybe you love it sweet and creamy, or prefer it loaded with fruits and nuts, but sometimes our go-to methods might not be as healthy as we think. So, whether you're a lifelong oatmeal fan or just starting to include it in your diet, this video is for you. Throughout this video, I'll share not only the mistakes to avoid, but also some personal experiences I've had along the way. Trust me, I've been there, adding way too much sugar to my breakfast bowl and feeling the consequences later. We'll have some fun along the way, too, because who says learning about nutrition can't be entertaining? And I encourage you to join the conversation. Feel free to comment below about your own oatmeal experiences, what's worked for you and what hasn't. Your insights could help others in the community. So, let's get started on turning our oatmeal from a simple breakfast into a supercharged meal that keeps us energized and satisfied all day long. All right, let's jump right into our first mistake: adding too much sugar to your oatmeal. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Who doesn't love a little sweetness in the morning? I used to think that pouring in a generous spoonful of brown sugar or drizzling maple syrup made my breakfast a cozy treat. But here's the catch. This seemingly harmless habit can actually sabotage your health in ways you may not expect. When you load your oatmeal with sugar, not only are you adding empty calories, but you're also setting yourself up for an energy roller coaster. Research shows that excessive sugar intake can lead to spikes in blood sugar, followed by rapid crashes that leave you feeling tired and irritable. I remember one morning when I thought I was starting my day right, only to find myself craving snacks just an hour later. It was frustrating. But it's not just about how you feel in the moment. Over time, consistently consuming high amounts of added sugars can lead to serious health issues like obesity, insulin resistance, and even type 2 diabetes. The American Heart Association recommends limiting added sugars for women to 6 teaspoons and for men to 9 teaspoons per day. It's startling how easy it is to exceed that limit with just one bowl of sweetened oatmeal. So, what's a better approach? Instead of refined sugars, consider naturally sweetening your oatmeal with fresh fruits like bananas, berries, or even a sprinkle of cinnamon. These options not only satisfy your sweet tooth, but also pack a nutritional punch with vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber. Trust me, your body will thank you for it. Now that we've tackled sugar, let's move on to our next common oatmeal mistake. Now, let's move on to mistake number 2, using flavored instant oats. I get it. On busy mornings, those colorful packets of flavored instant oatmeal can seem like a lifesaver. They promise warmth and flavor in just a couple of minutes, but here's the truth. They may be undermining your health more than you realize. When I used to reach for those convenient packets, I thought I was making a quick and easy breakfast choice. However, nutrition experts have a different take. These instant oats often contain hidden sugars, artificial flavors, and preservatives that can strip away the natural goodness of oatmeal. For instance, you might be surprised to find that some of these flavored options can have as much as 12 grams of sugar or more per serving. That's nearly double the recommended limit for a single meal. The real kicker? These additives can lead to a roller coaster effect on your blood sugar levels, just like with added sugar. You might feel a quick burst of energy, but soon after, you're left feeling sluggish and craving more snacks. Plus, many of these flavored oats lack the fiber and protein that you need to feel full and satisfied. I remember trying to focus at work after one of those sugary breakfasts, only to find myself reaching for unhealthy snacks by mid-morning. So, what's the healthier choice? Opt for plain, unflavored oats, think rolled oats or steel-cut oats, and take control of your breakfast. You can customize them with fresh fruits, nuts, or seeds to add flavor and nutrition without the harmful additives. Trust me, it's worth the extra few minutes. Now, let's dive into mistake number 3, which might surprise you. Now, let's talk about mistake number 3, skipping protein in your oatmeal. This is a common misstep that many people make when preparing their breakfast. You see, while oatmeal is a fantastic source of complex carbohydrates, it's naturally low in protein. And that's a problem because protein plays a crucial role in keeping us full and satisfied throughout the morning. I'll be honest, I used to think that a bowl of oatmeal was enough to kickstart my day. But more often than not, I found myself reaching for snacks just an hour later, feeling hungry and unfocused. It wasn't until I learned about the importance of adding protein that everything changed for me. Why does protein matter? Well, it helps stabilize your blood sugar levels and keeps you feeling full longer. Without enough protein, your oatmeal might digest too quickly, leaving you rummaging through the pantry for that mid-morning snack. Experts recommend that adults aim for 15 to 25 grams of protein at breakfast, and guess what? A typical serving of plain oatmeal only has about 5 grams. So, how can you boost the protein content of your oatmeal? There are plenty of tasty options. You could stir in a scoop of plain Greek yogurt, which can add around 10 to 15 grams of protein per half cup. Or try adding a tablespoon of nut butter for some healthy fats and protein. Chopped nuts, seeds like chia or flax, or even a sprinkle of unflavored protein powder can also do the trick. By incorporating these protein-rich ingredients, you'll transform your oatmeal into a well-rounded meal that keeps you energized and satisfied for hours. Now, let's move on to mistake number 4, which is all about portion control. All right, let's dive into mistake number 4, overeating oatmeal. It might sound surprising, but even though oatmeal is a healthy choice, consuming too much of it can lead to unwanted weight gain and discomfort. I know it can be tempting to think, it's oatmeal, it's healthy, so I can eat as much as I want. But unfortunately, that mindset can backfire. I remember a time when I would fill my bowl to the brim, thinking I was making a smart choice. I felt good about eating something nutritious, but soon after, I found myself feeling overly full and sluggish. It turns out, portion sizes matter, even with healthy foods like oatmeal. Research shows that consistently exceeding recommended serving sizes can lead to gradual weight gain over time. So, how much oatmeal should you actually be eating? Nutritionists recommend a sensible serving size of about half a cup of dry oats, which cooks up to roughly 1 cup and provides around 150 to 200 calories before adding any toppings. It's easy to overlook this, especially when you're loading up your bowl with calorie-dense toppings like nuts, dried fruits, or sweeteners. To keep your oatmeal satisfying without going overboard, consider adding nutrient-dense, low-calorie toppings. Fresh berries, like blueberries or strawberries, are great choices. They add natural sweetness and are low in calories. You can also sprinkle on a small handful of nuts or seeds, which provide healthy fats and crunch without tipping the calorie scale too much. By practicing portion control and being mindful of your toppings, you can enjoy all the benefits of oatmeal without the sneaky downsides. Now, let's move on to mistake number 5, where we'll discuss the importance of soaking your oats. Now, let's explore mistake number 5, not soaking your oats. This is a step that many people overlook, but it can significantly impact the nutritional quality of your breakfast. You might be wondering, why should I soak my oats? Well, let me tell you, soaking can unlock a world of benefits. When you soak your oats overnight, you're not just saving time in the morning, you're also enhancing their digestibility. Oats, like many grains, contain phytic acid, which can bind to essential minerals such as iron, zinc, and calcium in your digestive system. This means that if you don't soak your oats, your body may struggle to absorb these vital nutrients, leaving you missing out on their health benefits. I remember my first experience with soaking oats. Initially, I was skeptical and thought it would be an unnecessary step. But after trying it, I was amazed at the difference in texture and flavor. The oats became creamier and softer, making my breakfast not only more enjoyable, but also easier to digest. Research shows that soaking oats can reduce phytic acid levels by up to 50%, making those important minerals more bioavailable to your body. Plus, soaking helps break down some of the starches, which can make your oatmeal gentler on your stomach, reducing bloating and discomfort. To soak your oats, simply place them in a bowl or jar and cover them with water or your favorite milk. Let them sit in the fridge overnight, and by morning, you'll have perfectly softened oats that are ready to be transformed into a delicious breakfast. So, if you haven't been soaking your oats, give it a try. You'll be amazed at how much better your oatmeal can be. Now, let's move on to mistake number 6, which involves cooking habits that might be affecting your breakfast. Now, let's discuss mistake number 6, eating undercooked oats. This might seem like a minor issue, but it can lead to some uncomfortable digestive problems and prevent you from fully enjoying the benefits of oatmeal. I've been guilty of this myself, rushing through breakfast and thinking that just a few minutes of cooking is enough. But trust me, that can backfire. When oats aren't cooked long enough, they can remain tough and dense, which makes them harder for your body to digest. This is especially true for rolled oats and steel-cut oats, which require adequate cooking time to become tender and palatable. I remember one morning when I hastily prepared my oats, only to be left feeling bloated and sluggish afterward. It turns out, my undercooked oats were sitting like a rock in my stomach. The problem with undercooked oats is that they can irritate your digestive tract, leading to bloating, gas, and discomfort. Studies have shown that when oats are not cooked thoroughly, they can also inhibit the absorption of nutrients, meaning you might not be getting all the health benefits you expect from this superfood. So, how do you ensure your oats are cooked perfectly? If you're using rolled oats, aim to simmer them for about 5 to 10 minutes on medium-low heat, stirring occasionally. For steel-cut oats, you'll need to allow about 20 to 30 minutes. If you're using the microwave, make sure to give them enough time, usually around 2 to 3 minutes, depending on your microwave's wattage. Cooking your oats until they're soft and creamy not only enhances their digestibility, but also maximizes their nutritional value. So, take your time and enjoy the process. Now, let's move on to mistake number 7, where we'll discuss the pitfalls of overcooking your oats. Now, let's tackle mistake number 7, overcooking your oats. You might think that the longer you cook your oats, the better they will be, but that's actually not true. Overcooking can turn your nutritious breakfast into a mushy mess and strip away some of the health benefits that make oatmeal so great. I'll admit, I've had my fair share of kitchen mishaps where I got distracted while cooking my oats. I'd come back to find a pot of what looked more like wallpaper paste than a delicious bowl of oatmeal. Not only did the texture suffer, but I also realized that overcooking can diminish the nutrient content of the oats. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry reveals that prolonged cooking at high temperatures can break down delicate vitamins and antioxidants found in oats, such as B vitamins and avenanthramides, which are known for their anti-inflammatory properties. When oats are cooked too long, they lose their pleasant chewiness, turning into a bland and unappetizing sludge. This not only makes for a less enjoyable meal, but can also affect how quickly the carbohydrates in your oats digest. Instead of providing you with a slow and steady release of energy, overcooked oats can lead to a quick spike in blood sugar levels, leaving you feeling hungry again sooner than you'd like. So, what's the trick to cooking oats just right? Aim for that sweet spot where they're soft and creamy, but still have a bit of structure. For rolled oats, this usually means cooking them for about 5 to 10 minutes over medium-low heat, stirring occasionally. Steel-cut oats take a little longer, around 20 to 30 minutes. If you're using instant oats, just follow the package instructions and keep an eye on them. By mastering the cooking time, you'll ensure that your oatmeal is not only delicious, but also packed with all the nutrients you need to start your day right. Now, let's move on to mistake number 8, where we'll discuss the impact of using the wrong liquid when cooking your oats. Now, let's dive into mistake number 8. Using the wrong liquid when cooking your oats. You might think that simply grabbing any liquid, water, milk, or even a milk alternative will do the trick. However, the type of liquid you choose can greatly impact both the flavor and texture of your oatmeal. I used to make the mistake of cooking my oats directly in milk, thinking it would give them a rich, creamy flavor. While that sounds great in theory, I soon found out that it can actually create a thick, sticky consistency that isn't very pleasant to eat. The proteins in milk interact with the starches in the oats, which can lead to a gummy mess instead of the fluffy, satisfying bowl of oatmeal you're aiming for. When I started experimenting, I realized that cooking oats in water first allowed them to absorb moisture and expand properly without any interference from the milk proteins. Once the oats are fully cooked and have reached that perfect, creamy texture, I then add milk or a milk alternative right before serving. This method not only enhances the flavor, but also maintains a light, enjoyable texture. Plus, cooking oats in water can make it easier to control the consistency. If you prefer a creamier bowl, you can always stir in your choice of milk or milk alternative at the end. Almond milk, oat milk, or even coconut milk can add a delightful flavor while keeping the oats light and fluffy. By choosing the right liquid and adjusting your cooking method, you can elevate your oatmeal experience significantly. Now that we've covered that, let's move on to mistake number 9, where we'll discuss the often overlooked importance of adding salt to your oatmeal. Now, let's talk about mistake number 9. Skipping salt when preparing your oatmeal. It might sound surprising, but neglecting to add a pinch of salt can really undermine the flavor of your breakfast. Many people believe that salt should only be used in savory dishes, but let me tell you, a small amount of salt can make a world of difference in your oatmeal. When I first started making oatmeal, I used to skip the salt altogether, thinking that sweet toppings would be enough to flavor my bowl. However, I quickly realized that without a bit of salt, my oatmeal tasted flat and uninviting. Salt isn't just a seasoning. It enhances the natural flavors of the oats and balances the sweetness of any toppings you might add. A tiny pinch of salt can elevate the taste and make your breakfast much more enjoyable. Research from culinary experts suggests that adding salt can help suppress bitterness while amplifying the subtle nutty undertones of the oats. This means you won't feel the need to compensate for blandness with excessive sugar or sweeteners. Instead, a well-seasoned bowl of oatmeal will satisfy your palate without going overboard on calories. So, how much salt should you use? A small pinch, about 1/8 teaspoon, is usually enough for a serving of oatmeal. Just add it to the cooking water or milk at the beginning, and let it blend in as the oats cook. You'll be amazed at how this simple step transforms your breakfast from bland to flavorful. With just a little salt, your oatmeal can become a delicious and satisfying meal that keeps you full and energized. Now that we've covered the importance of salt, let's move on to mistake number 10, where we'll discuss the downsides of relying solely on oatmeal for your breakfast. Now, let's dive into mistake number 10. Relying solely on oatmeal for your breakfast. While oatmeal is undoubtedly a fantastic superfood packed with fiber, antioxidants, and essential minerals, it's important to remember that no single food can provide all the nutrients your body needs. If you're eating oatmeal every morning without mixing things up, you might be setting yourself up for nutritional gaps that can impact your overall health. I used to think that as long as I was eating oatmeal, I was making a healthy choice. However, I soon realized that oatmeal is low in protein and healthy fats, which are crucial for maintaining energy levels and supporting muscle function. A typical serving of oatmeal contains about 5 grams of protein, but many nutritionists recommend aiming for 15 to 25 grams at breakfast. By skipping out on protein, you may find yourself feeling hungry again soon after your meal. To keep your breakfast balanced and satisfying, it's essential to incorporate a variety of foods along with your oatmeal. For example, you can stir in a dollop of Greek yogurt, which adds a creamy texture and boosts your protein intake significantly. You can also sprinkle on some nuts or seeds for healthy fats, or even pair your oatmeal with a couple of hard-boiled eggs on the side for an extra protein punch. Another great option is to top your oatmeal with fresh fruits, which not only enhance the flavor, but also provide essential vitamins and antioxidants. Berries, bananas, and apples are fantastic choices that can elevate your breakfast game. By diversifying your breakfast, you'll ensure you're getting a well-rounded meal that supports your health goals. So, don't hesitate to mix it up. Now that we've discussed all 10 mistakes, let's wrap things up and reflect on what we've learned today. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to review the 10 common oatmeal mistakes we've discussed today. From adding too much sugar and using flavored instant oats to skipping protein and relying solely on oatmeal, each mistake can significantly impact your breakfast experience and overall health. Remember, oatmeal can be an incredible superfood, but it's all about how you prepare and enjoy it. We've learned that a few simple adjustments can make a world of difference. By swapping out refined sugars for fresh fruits, ensuring you add enough protein, practicing portion control, and even soaking your oats overnight, you can transform your oatmeal from a basic breakfast to a nourishing powerhouse meal. Don't forget the importance of cooking your oats just right and adding a pinch of salt to enhance the flavor. I hope you found these insights valuable and that you're excited to put them into practice. I'd love to hear about your own experiences with oatmeal. What tips do you have for making it more delicious and nutritious? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights could help others in our community discover new ways to enjoy their oatmeal. And as always, be sure to stay tuned for our next video. We'll continue exploring delicious and healthy breakfast options that can fuel your day. Thank you for watching, and I hope you feel inspired to make these changes in your morning routine. Let's make our breakfasts not just healthy, but also enjoyable and satisfying. Until next time, happy cooking, and I can't wait to hear what you think.